Go on, son.
Just got my big head in there.
Don't put it back wherever they got it from.
Just getting the correct size drill bit. It's not going to fit for sure. Right, we put the handbrake on that. Lovely. Oh, that works. So it is 20 litres because there's 5 litres on the ground. To fade out to nothing.
Is it in the box?
Are you getting any in the funnel? My Range Rover Sports that got written off on Boxing Day. Oh, it's watery. I think they're the only ones that didn't print. Great big hooter going on.
And I looked right in the screen as well and saw my face. I was like, oh!
Welcome back to another Bossway Weekly. Today we are doing ply lining. I'm just finishing off a ply lining file that we haven't done before. So we can send that through to remotely to Dean on the CNC machine. He's going to get that cut out so the guys can get it wrapped. They've already started wrapping loads of ply lining kits for the orders that we got over the weekend. And let me show you them now. So these are loads of the orders that have been packaged up today. There's another one being put there. Got a plywood delivery here. And here's some more orders that are packed up and going to be collected shortly by the courier. So Dean's just here cutting out the ply lining files I just sent over to him so we can get that particular kit cut out for the customer. The boys are just doing the very final last touches of the installation and then we can get on with all the wiring, but we've just had a delivery of a load of the audio stuff. So here's a load of the speakers and subwoofer that's going in the Sprinter build. So we've got two lots of 6x9s. We've got some 6.5 inch speakers here. We've got a small underseat sub here. We've got a long HDMI lead, which is going to go from one TV to the other. We've got all conduit to put it in, loads of wiring to do for the USB chargers, which are here. And we've got a ground loop. We've got 240 volt socket there as well, so there's loads of stuff that's going into this Sprinter build. We're all going to have to build like brackets to hold the speakers, etc. But yeah, big delivery of all the audio.
Glove power, some rubber.
So we bought Jay, how many litres is that? Is that 20 or 25 litres of snow foam? And it's something we haven't used before. So we're going to try it on my car and see how good it is. But Jay needs to try and take this off first.
Jesus, wet.
Go on, son. Hey, look.
Boy. That'll be why. Right, can you hold this funnel for me, sir?
I can do that. Oh, it's watery.
It really is, isn't it?
Are you getting any in the funnel? You're getting all over the floor.
Shit.
So it is 20 litres because there's 5 litres on the ground.
Shall I fill it right up?
Yeah, why not? Oh, we're frothing. We're frothing. That'll do them. So that's how far we can get.
Nice look.
What's your ratio going to be?
50-50. That'll be alright, won't it? And then fill the rest up with water. My move.
It mounts to the floor, goes under the seat, and then
like
screws
that
down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so it could even go on the wall at the side under the seat. Or
Yeah, it will vibrate, but it will screw down under one of the seats, or it'll go under where the fridge is going to go, or we've got a raised back part where all those 3 seats facing forwards are going to be. So if I masking tape up where, like, we're going to need power to get to here for head unit, all speaker cables are going to have to go from those locations to here. And then we'll worry about where the power and stuff's going to go to that. But we have got a, obviously we're going to have to get some sort of remote to that as well, just because it's RCA, so that'll have to either come up under the floor or whatever where that is going to end up. So we're going to have 6x9s here, 6x9s further back, and then we'll worry about them 6 3/4, whether they're further at the front or at the top.
I can't see where we put them at the front, to be fair.
So, well, we're making a whole unit that will go along here, because there's going to be a
the same as what you did
because the TV lifts up here
and make your boxes in the bottom again. And put the 6 3/4 under there.
Yeah. So we would make the boxes or our 3D print or 3D design and print them. So here is going to be a slim box where when the driver presses it, the TV is going to lift up here out of a box. Yeah. But it's not going to be a completely enclosed, because he wants to be able to hide it away so he can chat with the passengers, or it can come up, so it'll be a 32-inch telly going in there. And then in between these seats we're hoping to get a glass fronted fridge, so the customers can see that they've got drinks fridge, so they've got water and champagne or whatever else they're going to have. So there's lots of also we've got all the wiring and ducting to do all things like for the Starlight roof, the lights, ambient lighting. We've got obviously Xbox or PlayStation, I think he's having in here. TV at the back, HDMI lead from front to back, RCA from where PlayStation's going to be to the head unit. So there's a lot of wiring we're going to do, and obviously we'll put it all in the ducting as well. So quite a bit. So I'll start labelling up with some masking tape, and we can start running wires and cables. Yeah. Sweet. Progress update on the Sprinter. All of the wiring is, well, the wiring's been started, shall I say, and it all travels along where the factory wiring loom is. Once we've finished all the cables, this will all be in a conduit, and it'll all be then cable tied to the factory wiring loom mounts. So far we've got wiring in for the USB chargers, so each seat has got USB phone chargers in, USB A and C. We've got the RCAs for all the audio. We've got power down to where the head unit will be. Speaker cables are in. Wiring for Starlight is in, and yeah, we're making some progress. So it is messy, but it is a messy job. So once everything's where it needs to be, we can then fill it all with conduit, put all the cable ties round, neaten it all up. Everything's getting labelled now, so we know what we're doing later on when we're wiring. Once all this is in, we're going to move to the front. We're going to go and find the starter battery, start doing all the wiring from that to charge our leisure batteries. We've got split charge relays going in, fuse boxes, etc. So there's a lot to do, but we're getting on well. Obviously we've done the first part of the Sprinter wiring, and now we're going to do how our starter battery charges our leisure batteries. So we've got 2 lithium batteries going in this Sprinter build to make sure it powers everything, like the chairs, the PlayStation, all the audio and everything like that, and it's completely separate from the battery in the van. So you can run those batteries down and the van will still start, and that is what this box does. So this charges at 30 amps, and what this does basically is the starter battery goes in here and our leisure batteries go in here. When the ignition starts, the voltage rises and this knows, and then it basically joins them together, and that's the van charges the leisure batteries. When the vehicle turns off, the voltage drops, this cuts that join, so these leisure batteries can be drained and it won't drain the starter battery, so you'll always be able to start the van. So it's Starlight Roof time for the Mercedes Sprinter. So all the panels that the boys took out the other day and stripped out, we're going to be doing starlights. Now the customer wants it more densely populated with the starlights on the top and to fade out to nothing down the side. So there's a centre channel up the middle where all the aircon is, so obviously we're not going to do that part. So it's from about here onwards up to halfway over the curve is where he wants it quite dense, and then it's going to fade out to nothing as it goes over the sides. So yeah, so that's what the customer wants, that's what he's going to get. But we've laid all the panels out so we can get a guide on how many starlights we're putting over all the panels. If you do one panel then a separate panel, you can't gauge how many you're putting in. So yeah, so that's why they're all spread out on here. So this is, well, this is 3 out of 5 of the panels. One of them is a rear panel which will be like in the boot area, so that won't have starlights, and one of them is just round the aircon machine, the aircon sort of cover. So there will be some down the sides of those, but there won't be any in the middle because obviously it's covered with the plastic for the aircon. So we'll do that slightly separately, but these are the 3 main panels that are in the area that all the customers are going to sit in. So yeah, just making a start on that today. So we're just getting set up, just getting the correct size drill bit for the thickness of fibre optics that we've got. Plenty of batteries on charge, GoPro's ready to go, so we'll do a time lapse for you now. So we've got the caddy kit. We've got a Nissan Primastar long wheelbase 2014 on,
Yeah.
and a Berlingo 1996 to 2008. I think they're the only ones that didn't print. Today, obviously, normally we've got Ply Lining Kits. We've got some electric tailgate kits going out. So we've got one for a customer who's actually been waiting for a little while. It got stuck in customs. So that is going out today as well for a Volkswagen Transporter, T6.1, brand new one. We've got some electronics we need to send off for a customer to be repaired, so they're going off as well. The guys are carrying on with the starlights on the Sprinter roof. Got quite a lot of that done yesterday, but they're carrying on with that today. We've done a lot of the wiring on the Sprinter already, so there's not a lot of that to do. We've got the rear bulkhead, so right at the back there's going to be like a luggage compartment. So you can open the 2 back doors on the Sprinter and there's all going to be luggage in there. At the moment there isn't a divide, so we're going to make that divide. So we're going to 3D scan the van, then we'll trace it down on our 3D design software. The CNC machine will cut that out, and that will be the bulkhead for the van. Now, the bulkhead is probably going to be too big and wide for any board that we can either buy or fit on our CNC machine. So normally we have to do them in 2 parts, join them together, and then we would wrap them in material, whether it be leather or fabric or that sort of stuff, to make it look nice, basically. So we may well have to do that in 2 parts and join them. So we're going to get on with that today as well. And yeah, obviously wrapping ply lining as well. What else have we got to do? There's a lot to do, but not a lot of varied things. So it's mainly ply lining, sending parcels off, wrapping the ply lining, obviously, Starlight roof on the Sprinter, bulkhead on the Sprinter. So let's get on with it. So this morning I'm in the office downstairs and I'm just going through a few invoices to send off to customers to pay, and we've also got a piece of paper that Dean's just brought through to me for one of our ply lining kits, and the customer's address has just Grove Street. There's no house name, no house number, so we're going to email that customer as well and get them to update their address, because Dean's already cut it and it's been wrapped. So we just need the address so we can put the paperwork on and get the couriers to come and collect it. And Dean's now come into me with another problem, that the files that I've created, I have to make each one ready for our CNC machine. And we've had an order for a Citroen Berlingo 1996 onwards, which is an old van. We don't sell many of those. And the particular file that I've created that was ordered before, so if we haven't sold that kit before, then I've got to generate the file, because we've got hundreds of designs, and obviously we've sold thousands of kits now, so we sell the same kits over and over again. So once I've done the files once, we can just reuse them. So we have hundreds that we've already done, but the odd one I might not have done. So on this particular one, we've got this early 1996 onwards Berlingo. The file that we've already got is for one with no side loading doors, and this customer has one side loading door. So I now need to go into that file, create that for our CNC machine, and then send it through to Dean's Mac, and then he can put it on the CNC machine and cut it out for this customer. Right, I've now extruded the parts to the thickness that they need to be. So the walls are 6mm and the floor is 9mm. And now I'll show you what we've done to nest them, which means lay out the parts almost like a jigsaw really on a board size, and then we tell the CNC to go around the outside. But let me explain that a little bit now. So this isn't a normal kind of layout, because normally the boards would be full, but what we end up having is a lot of off-cut boards which we would then scrap. So I chatted with Dean and he said if I put them like this, he can use some of our offcuts instead of using like a whole board just for these 3 pieces, but it gives you an idea. So imagine like this one over here, this is a side panel and a side door. So what we would then do now is it's got small dots on here that we tell the CNC just to put like a 1/2 mil deep dot, just so when they're installing these kits in the vans, they know where to put the screws through the sides, and that would hit metal to hold these panels to the van. So first of all, the CNC will put a dot 1/2 mil deep in each of this, just to give where the screw holes need to be. Then what we do is tell it to do things like this inside piece here, this little square. It's probably for a handle or a light or something here. So it'll go around that first, and then it will go around the outside of this, because there is some board around the outside. Now this is right on the limit of how big the board is. So it will go around the piece, but it will cut out all of the board, so there's no structure anymore. So you'll see sometimes we do have a vacuum pump, but because the boards are so thin, sometimes it doesn't grab the board as much. So you'll actually see Dean holding these down or standing on these boards, just to make sure that they don't twist when the cutter is going round, to make sure that they stay accurate, because there's no structure around the edge of the board anymore. So that will cut around the whole outside of that. So we tell it first to do the dots, then do the inside cuts of anything that needs cutting out, like a light, and then go around the outside, and then we're left with 2 good pieces, and then this part is all scrap. Now this one will be the same. So again, we'll do the dots, we'll cut out this inside sort of part here, and then we'll go around the outside, and we're using almost offcuts for these instead of one whole new board, because we've got a lot of them. Now these are the floors over here, and this is often the way, this is a relatively small van, but it's often the way that you have a big part of the floor and a small part of the floor, because it's bigger than a total board. Again, it's got dots on, and then we'll go around the outside. But these are the wheel arch pieces as well. So we've got like the side of a wheel arch, the top of a wheel arch, the back and the front, and the same for the other side. Now these are all cut out with the floor, and people, if they're making a camper van, they might not even use these and might get binned, but they just get, like, once they're delivered, you can just panel pin them together or something, but they get cut out of the same board. And I think some people maybe don't realise, they're like, oh, we didn't get our wheel arches, we mustn't have cut them. Well, it's impossible not to cut them, because every single time now that this kit is cut, it will automatically cut the wheel arches out as well. And then we've got a small offcut on another board, because we couldn't nest this anywhere in here. We've got another board, we're going to have to cut out just this part of the floor, but we would keep this empty space here in case we need, like, if we've got some wheel arches that spread out over here or something, we can turn this board around and just use this end or something like that. So we'd end up scrapping this piece, but we would have like this piece for some wheel arches for somebody else's order, when we've got like this little bit cut out here of just like a bit of scrap board. In the same way, if we had that cut out of these boards in a different thickness, if we had this, like this part cut out of these boards, we could use it for things like this. So we tend to keep the offcuts in case we need to use it for a part a bit like this. Obviously this is a floor, so it's thicker than the sides, but it's just for an example. Right, we put the handbrake on that. Lovely. Oh, that works. Range Rover Sports that got written off on Boxing Day this year, or last year, 2024. What had happened was we'd gone round my parents' house to have dinner and, eat the leftovers. Obviously, here's the VIP Sprinter, and what we're going to do is 3D scan all around the side of the van, and then we can get this model put on our 3D software, and then we'll trace all the way around here, put it on the CNC machine, it will trace around the wood, cut it out, and then we can wrap it and put it in. It does make it sound simple. It is a bit tricky sometimes, particularly like getting the scan to go all the way over from one to the other. You could be a little bit out sometimes. So the scanning process is probably the hardest part of this, and then getting it squared up once you're in the 3D design software. Now, 3D scanners are notorious for not liking shiny objects, so you can use 3D scanning spray, which we've got down there, or you can do things like this, like put a piece of masking tape on where you are going to be scanning. So what we'll do now is put some dots on there as well. So 3D scanning, for those who don't know, and I'm going to do a brief thing of it. Let's imagine a camera taking lots of pictures and then stitching it all together. If you've got one plain surface, it doesn't really know where it is or what to stitch together. So you can put on what they call marker dots, and they're random. So it goes, oh, those like 3 dots are different to those 3 dots, and then it can basically scan all the way up and stitch everything together without getting lost. That's the idea of it. So we've got masking tape on here to stop it from being such a shiny surface. Then we'll put some of these marker dots on so it knows where it is, and then that should give us a better quality scan, and then from there on the process will be better. If you don't start doing it properly, by the time you get to the end it's not going to fit for sure. So we do it all properly to start with, get it all lined up, and then go from there. They are all the marker dots that we put on. So we have magnetic ones, which because we used a lot for vehicles, so these can slide around, but they obviously don't when you don't touch them. So we have magnetic ones up here, and then we've put masking tape on for the same reasons really. One is that we won't get lost when we're aiming the 3D scanner, because we literally only want this loop where the bulkhead's going to be, so it's easier for us to aim. 2 is that these are adhesive ones, so these obviously aren't magnetic because it's on this roof panel. So when these are stuck to the tape, when we're finished, peel the tape off, and you haven't got to go and pick off all of these dots. So it's a nice quick way of doing it. So let's get started. We'll come get it.
We'll come and get it. Cheers, Keith. Bye. 637 plus that.
And it's on the shelf.
And it's on the shelf.
Nice.
When you get there, you can tell him in the line.
Just got my big head in there. You've got to cut that out, Glenn. You can't worry about that in there.
Great big hooter going on.
And I looked right in the screen as well and saw my face. I was like, oh!
Yeah, what, did you not see the tripod?
I avoided it.
We got a camera on top of it, mate. Recording, haven't we? Jesus. Shall I turn that off? Here we are on the screen, and that is the whole back of the van there. And then you can see the bits that we really need all round here and then round there. And that is what our bulkhead is going to look like. So the bulkhead isn't actually going to go all to the floor in this van, because we've got like a row of seats here, and then we're going to allow enough room for some suitcases to slot under them. So our bulkhead here is going to come to here, and then the floor, like a false floor, will go forwards and then down, so it will step. But this is the main bit we need, this top half here, and that looks like a pretty good scan to me. So we'll process this now, and we'll get it through into the 3D software, so we can probably design that another day and get it cut on the CNC machine, do a couple of tests, and then we'll cut it out on a big, thick, chunky board, and then get it wrapped in the nice fabric. While I've been getting on with the 3D scanning downstairs, I just thought I'd pop upstairs and see how the boys are getting on with the Starlight roof. This is day 2 on here, so there's 3 panels done so far, and there's another one to do there. They are probably 60% through on this one, 70%, something like that. But yeah, getting on well. It's all looking neat and tidy as Starlights can, and it's all cable tied up. So make sure that we're doing a certain amount at a time and then cable tying them all together, otherwise it ends up just being a whole spaghetti mess. Ones get snapped, the things stop working, so we want to make sure we keep it all neat and tidy, all glued, all cable tied, and all really neat.
How's your day been?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, nice and busy. So all
You're
good.
always busy.
Mate, it's a nightmare. Like, you start your day going, I'm going to do this, that, and that, and by 10 o'clock it's gone to pot. So
I usually ring you and you say call me at 4 o'clock, and then it's 4 and then you're just busy. It's nice to speak to you. It's nice to put a face to the voice.
So the way I've worked it out with our costings, £5 roughly, that we know we're making money, and then we're quite happy to spend more as long as each lead roughly works out, so we can, you know, gather orders from everywhere and start filtering them all through. Generic, average. So it's Thursday and the boss has been, which is my wife, and she's broken her car. So she came in and dropped some meals off to us yesterday. And when she slammed the door, she heard a rattle in the door, and now the outside handle is not working. So we're here, we're going to take the door card off, check out what's rattling around inside. Not sure if something's just fallen off that we can fix or whether we need to order a part. So Kane's going to take the door card off now and see what's inside, see what the problem is. And she's probably hoping it's here for a bit of a valet as well, because it's filthy.
Is it in the box with the jet wash outside? The yellow bottle? Or, if it's not, mate, yeah, I think... Yeah, if it's not, I think it might possibly still be in one of the vans. Don't put it back wherever they got it from, but... You know what you should do? Teach her a lesson. Give her the auto for a week, mate.
Yeah.
Show her what it feels like. Show her what it feels like to be in a pocket straight.
So all the cars apart, and that is all. The problem was this short cable from the outside handle to basically just open the door. So the ends come off, and that should be in some sleeving. We've ordered a new one from Land Rover. It was £8 something. Unfortunately, it didn't have it in stock at the Peterborough dealership, but it will be in first thing tomorrow. So we'll put that straight on, and then the boss can have her car back. So while we were hoovering out the car, we put the radio on, and straight away it said it was going to turn off in 3 minutes. So that means the battery was weak. So we put our battery tester on it, and the battery health was below 25%, which is no good. So we're changing it now for this battery to make sure that the car stays in tip-top health. It's Bossway Friday. We are in, and Lorraine's part for her car is in stock as well. So we're going to get that put on that door handle just there. And just out of interest, we put the battery out of her car on charge last night on our C-Tech charger, which is supposed to be able to repair the batteries. And I'm just going to try it now, put it on our battery tester. So just an interesting test. Obviously, we'll put a new one on her car anyway, but let's just see if it can actually repair a battery or not. Here's the manky old battery. There's the charger. So we've just taken it off and put our battery charger on. Now this says 13.4 volts and full, because we've just taken it off charge. That will settle down to like 12.6 on a good battery, but let's do a little battery test anyway. So this is Bluetooth to this tester. So we do a battery test. You know, the cold cranking amps is 800, and yeah, the battery is an 80 amp hour battery. So we'll do a little test now. So now it says state of charge 100%, battery health over 90%, and voltage status is good. So that battery is in now good condition. So that charger does actually repair batteries. I've been to Land Rover to get the spare part for this door handle that's going on my wife's car. So let's get it fitted now.
Sold. Tick 1 match, DSG, tick 1 match, DSG, bit of the bits in, really going to the 2 bit, 2 down to bit there, 1 1 1, 2 1 2 1, popular things at the minute, they just popular things, these 2 3 2 4 2 5, yeah, you all think so as well. 2 B 5 5 the 2 to the 2 to the under the 2 B 5 down to the 25, it be done to the 2 5 5 and 0, 2 5 to the 25, the 2 5 5 and the send in the way the 25 in bit, sell it, 25 if you want to be there, 25 and a half, 31, what we got,
So that's it. My dad won the Tiguan, and so he won it for £2,550 plus fees. So, and it's only in Thurley, which is near Bedford, so it's probably about an hour from us. So we'll probably nip down early part of next week and go and pick that up. So he's chuffed. He won it for that price. He's going to run around in it for a bit and see if he likes it, and then hopefully they get to keep it and it becomes a good car. But we'll also film around that, let you know why we bid on it, why we bought it, what dealers might have missed, and yeah, we'll show you around it once we've gone and collected it or it's been delivered. Right, so that's the end of another Bossway Weekly. So this week we have done the wiring on the Sprinter, got all that, the first fix done anyway, so that was a really good bonus this week. We've done a load of the starlights in the roof. We've still got a bit more to finish on that, but had a really good start on that. Obviously fixed Lorraine's car. We've 3D scanned the Sprinter, ready for designing the bulkhead, and all that has taken quite a lot of time. So good progress on the Sprinter this week. I'm really pleased with that. Obviously we've been doing Ply Lining Kits every day as well, and yeah, so we've had quite a lot of inquiries. One was for a tailgate kit that we shipped over to the Isle of Man, so we've been helping them remotely with their install on that. And we've also sold one for a Volvo XC40. We've had an inquiry for fixing someone's hybrid battery from a company in Kosovo. So we might be flying over there to fix a Range Rover over there. And we've also got a full Range Rover L405 coming next week for us to fix the hybrid battery on that as well. So all of those inquiries are coming this week. So that's really positive as well. So I hope you like this week's video, and please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next week. Go on, son.
Just got my big head in there.
Don't put it back wherever they got it from.
Just getting the correct size drill bit. It's not going to fit for sure. Right, we'll put the handbrake on that. Lovely. Oh, that works. So it is 20 litres because there's 5 litres on the ground. To fade out to nothing.
Is it in the box?
Are you getting any in the funnel? My Range Rover Sports that got written off on Boxing Day. Oh, it's watery.
I think they're the only ones that didn't print.
Great big hooter going on.
And I looked right in the screen and I saw my face. And I was like, oh.